We're all waiting for a big run up in the crypto market, and at that time you're watching that the market is showing you red numbers. What if I say we are really about to run much higher and this is the bluff by the market? How many of you would agree on that point? I will take you guys through all these other perspectives which I want you to watch before you take a decision. You will watch that historically this has been true. Now, if you have a different viewpoint, different argument, let me know in the comment section. But remember, earlier today, I dropped this saying watch for the support. So that was 8 hours back before the actual drop. And then what happens? The price actually drops, touches through that support range and hold on to that support. That, in my opinion, is important. It held the first support, but it actually went down to test the next two level of support. So if you knew that's coming, that means you're prepared. And that means you really had an idea what the market is about to do, and that gives you an advantage in this market. And that's all about being prepared. That's one of the reasons why I gave you guys this earlier today morning saying, guys, watch for this. The market is about to do a bluff in this region. The whales usually does that, which if it's true, that means we are about to start a massive run up. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. When I say we are about to run higher, keep this in mind. We usually get these bluffs. If we go back and look at the 10x run up in XRP, it came after a huge drop. Now, for XRP, that was also because of the SEC case. Now, yes, that's for XRP. What about other assets? Say this is XLM. And if you actually look at that time horizon, you will see a breakout, which was like, okay, great. We are breaking through that range. We are about to run higher. But then the market drops 40%. People were like, nah, we came back to this range. We're going down. All that negative sentiment was in the market. I was personally doing one-on-one sessions saying, I think it's about to run higher. And we have a lot of members who held on strong and took profits at the higher end. Now, if you look at that, the price did a 10x after that, close to 11x. Great. Now, we can put an argument. XLM is highly correlated with XRP, so this is somewhat similar. But what about Ether? The structure looks different, but you had similar price movements in terms of the whales bluffing in front of us. That's important to identify. Because if you look at this, you did break to the upside. At that point, you got a bearish engulfing candle. That didn't look good. I mean, it broke below a trend, a support range. It retested and got rejected, which was not positive. But immediately, you reverse and you go back up. That was a 13x up after that bluff. So if you are falling for what the market is showing you right now to the downside, you may actually miss a massive run up. Look at the price action. This is the crypto market excluding Bitcoin and Ether for sure. But look at this. That's where majority of the manipulation comes in. The MACD is showing I'm crossing to the upside. RSI is already trending to the upside and it is showing you a double bottom signal. The price shows you I had a bullish flag, I broke higher and I'm consolidating. And the fake moves happen in this territory to confuse the market. And that happens all the time. And when you actually go look at the news, the narrative, this is huge. Meaning institutional XRP holdings are increasing. Now, that's not just for XRP, but keep in mind, this time around, institutional movements in XRP is going to be high. That does mean they are going to manipulate you psychologically in a way that you really would like to exit the market with limited amount of profit. But that's not what we are here for. We need to understand the fact that the market will do these bluffs. We need to keep an eye on what the market is doing and how we can overcome that and ride till profits, right till our targets. If you actually break this down one way or the other, say you can actually take a 12-hour chart, which gives you more detail. Say we go close into the price action for XRP. If you actually count the moves, you get the 1, you get the 2, you get the 3, which is the ABCDE pattern to the downside. So if it's me, I would put the argument saying like, okay, believe this or not, there is a big possibility that we are doing this right now. And after that, we do a ABC, come back down and then go back up. All of this is not happening on a weekly or monthly. It's a short-term pattern because the macro still remains the same. There is no change. We are still bullish. There is no change in that sentiment. The macro just suggests you that we are traveling to the upside. This was the range of consolidation, and we know what comes after such a consolidation happens. And this is not just in XRP, it's true for the entire market. Look at the history here. There is no doubt in that. Say you had a couple of resistance. Now we are just connecting that and extending that through, and we kind of get this support. And that's like, okay, historically, 2017, 2018, 2020, you are getting that again and again. Right here, you actually got a double bottom at that time. Majority were saying we are going down, but we called for a V-shaped recovery, and we did watch that happen. Now, ask this question to yourself. When the price is at this range, what do you think is happening? What do you think has the higher odds? Whether you think this is going to the upside or you think it's going to the downside. I mean, let me know. But let me put my argument here. If you actually look at this particular range, one candle to the upside is now taking a lot of other candles to even test somewhat like 70% range of that candle. And that is still staying highly active. Now, if that means the market is about to bounce and go around $7 to $8 trillion in crypto market, I would say that's nothing big. If we go up to 18, $20 trillion crypto market, maybe that's a little bit of bubble. Because the range of inflation which we have right now is sky high. If you actually break this down, this is excluding Bitcoin, the entire altcoin market. Historically speaking, whenever you have a consolidation range like this, you consolidate in a range, you break higher. And that movement is to the upside. Why? This is a technology with a lot of adoption and useful movements in the market. Let it be by the investors, the early adopters, but at the end, once it's open to the public, that's where the utility comes in. So you have a lot of different assets which are grasping that utility and taking that money from the market. Now, watch this. You go up, you consolidate. You go up and you consolidate in a longer horizon because the pop was too big. Same. You run up and that was not such a big rally and you're consolidating here. So historically, if that's true, what are you looking for? I mean, you zoom in and what you're watching here is that one candle, again, just one candle. That movement is now taking 5 candles to the downside to reach the bottom to retest that range. That's actually macro bullish. Because if you go back in history, this is what you actually see. You actually get a run to the upside and you consolidate before you move higher. Keep this in mind when you zoom in. One thing which actually took a lot of my attention studying when I'm going back is like this one candle's range is still active. That's heavy because the monthly candle has not yet closed and the last couple of candles were really showing massive wicks. One was showing you an inverted hammer, one was showing you a hammer pattern. So it really started getting confusing. But if you actually look at the weekly chart of the same and then go back to see, okay, historically when this happens, how does the market react? It does mean like once you break through the upside, you run a little bit above the moving average. Now we slow down, come back down to that moving average. That's what's happening in the market. Right now, we haven't actually got that movement to the upside where you actually broke through the moving average and took off like crazy. Now we can put the argument, say for XRP, that was the case. We had that movement, we went to the upside, we broke that range. Now we are coming back down to that moving average. Watch this. The moving average is now at 0.55. Great. Now, if you watch what the price action did recently, this is interesting for me. I mean, when you actually go back into the XRP price action, you break this down, you want to see how things are evolving. This actually takes a lot of market movements into the picture. Say you actually zoom in, you want to actually get a crystal clear picture about what the market is doing, right? It actually broke higher, now it's coming back down. And when it is coming back down, we actually watch that the market is showing you the fact that I'm retesting something. What is it? If you actually take this roof here and extend that line, you just saw that the price did touch that range and immediately bounced off. That means there was some market order, big market order in that range, and that pushed the market to the upside. Great. Now the next is close to that range, 0.565, which means this particular range is going to be acting as a strong support zone where we will see a big bounce off. That's my call. That's my speculative side of things. But if you actually look back and say, what do we learn from the history? That means long-term range, long-term price action history works. So if that's true, we want to actually see where the price comes low. And at that point, you can put the argument that, yeah, we are starting the movement to the upside. We want to see which trend line stays valid, because if it consolidates here for a month, now you're entering into this territory and bouncing off. That's again massively bullish. But if you actually look at the entire market, this has some huge upside. This is with Bitcoin, right? If you actually move out and look it up without Bitcoin, you actually get to see the market actually gives you wide perspective. Say the market does give you a huge upside here. So if you actually take in that idea and look at this, say you actually remove the big gaps with the Bitcoin and the Ether, and you want to actually see, are we actually showing something which we have seen in the past? Say here, this is the accumulation range. And do we actually see a flush or the bluff by the big guys happening there and here? That's a big question, because right now, if you put the argument that, okay, I understand that we did get a double bottom before we ran up, now we are getting something similar. There is no much difference. The only variation here is that the range is smaller. The range is bigger here, and that created this upside, which was wave 1. When you consolidate in a shorter range, not that wide enough, that means your upside usually is bigger, because the price action is getting coiled up in a range where you don't really have that movement. Say, for example, if you actually look at the copper coils, you'll understand how that works in the electromagnetic race. If you actually pile it up, now you get the range. Same thing, when you actually bounce up from here, you're going to watch the price action getting explosive movements. So coming back to the point, institutional investors are here. We just saw like China is cutting rates. So macro is changing. Within the crypto market, you are now getting a lot of institutional movements where they really want to manipulate us. There is no doubt in that sense. But the point to actually put in is that the entire market is an opportunity zone right now. Within that, you get an asset like XRP, which has the regulatory clarity. The only asset with regulatory clarity from US, not the other parts of the world, because yeah, they are doing much better in terms of regulators, right? You don't have the SEC around the globe. So that kind of gives them a little bit more advantage. But once you understand the fact that all these short-term fluctuation right now is giving you a huge opportunity, maybe for next 5 years, you may not actually see something like this. Maybe for next 10 years, you may not see an opportunity like this again. Because the way we are watching the economy moving, it's not actually positive. We are actually watching cost of living crisis everywhere. There is no doubt in that. But if you actually happen to enter this asset class somewhere here, you're among the lucky groups, because I personally know a few guys who entered here. They were really lucky to be entering at that market. And I also know people who entered here, right? So the time you enter the market is critical. for sure, whether you enter in the accumulation or distribution, for sure. But if you entered in this time frame, don't jump into the hypers. Start learning, because those who are here and they saw the massive blow off, they took profit and they learned a lot in the market. One is the experience. Two, they spent time in the market slowly learning things. So anytime when you actually see a bluff in the market, say, here, you were going up, but one candle showed you, now I'm going back to the downside. But what happens? You stay there and then pop. So if you exited the market at 0.23, you literally missed next 10, 15x movement. The market usually does this, and you should be prepared. If you want to know a bit more history, keep this in mind. You just take a vertical line, put it wherever you get such candles. Go back into December 2020. If you want the week, go into a weekly chart, go to that exact point in time. Look at 28th December 2020. How many other people were saying XRP is going up? And look for people who were saying XRP is not going to participate in this bull run. There were a lot of big YouTubers saying that exact same shit. But right now, if you go look at that, that was the bottom. That literally was the bottom. That means the market gave you an understanding that it's about to run higher. That's what we are looking for. And if you're actually looking for how things evolve here, make this a lesson, right? Go through the Patreon. The link is actually in the description if you haven't joined yet, where we actually gave you the real idea about what the market is about to do and what levels to look for. Because there's a lot of different assets showing you a macro 5, 10, 15, 20x probability, maybe next 3 months, maybe next 6 months. But they are literally showing you the opportunity exists in the market. So if you are trying to seize those opportunity because you understand the value of entering the market at the right time and staying till the targets, then join us and watch how your portfolio changes. So guys, if you smashed that like button already, thank you. And if you didn't, please do consider that. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.